Tanata to katoa. My name is Yuki. Today I'm gonna explain how to grow rice in pots. And this variety is called Yuki Hikari, and it's from the northern part of Hokkaido, which is the coldest region of Japan. It's a Japanese short grain rice, and this was harvested in 2025. Now, this seed originally came from Lake Yoshimasa Sakurai, and Yoshi grew rice from 1995 to 2023 in Kaiwaku Northland. And he had a self-sufficient paddy like this. Now, where rice is grown in Japan versus New Zealand, so Japan map's been flipped upside down, but the coldest northern limit of rice grown region is in Hokkaido, and it's kind of equivalent latitude to southern Canterbury, northern Otago. So I believe we can grow, southern parts. Well, these parts of southern South Island as well. This is where I am, and this is where Yoshi was growing rice. So Yoshi kindly sent me some rice seeds in September 2021, and I had a go at growing in pots when I was in the backyard. So I basically use pots like this, and this is submerged in the bucket like this, and then use shallow water and in the wheelbarrow here as well. So I have to say that the one with had lots of water, like these two, grew quite well, as opposed to the one in the shallow tray. And this is because this rice is a paddy rice seeds. Okay, so I would recommend doing something like this or something like this to begin with. Now keep the seed rice in the fridge, please, and then they should last until October 2026 at the very least. So if you are growing for the first time, I would suggest using a very small amount of seed and keep at least half for next year. And first year is all about learning the season. You start rice seedlings in late September, October, and then harvest in March, April. That's the kind of thing you are learning in the first year. So I'd love you to save some of the seeds for next year, just in case things doesn't go well this year. Seed selection is late September to first week of October, and mix the salt to water. And it's kind of like a equivalent of raw egg floating like this. And what you want to get is the heavy seeds that sink at the bottom, and discard this top seed because that's got like either empty husks or got disease or not very good. So keep this one and then rinse with cold water, and then keep it in the shallow tray and change water every day, but keep it for like 5 days, 6 days in the warm place. And then you need to change water because you don't want it to go rotten. But you can start seeing these shoots coming up after sort of 5 days or so. And then once that point, you will be transferring into a seed raising mix in a pot like this. Now, this is fine, like this, vegetable pot is fine, but I started using a deeper one. And then you just put 3 seeds in each slot. And even if you're using this one, just don't overcrowd it like this, okay? So just put like 3 seeds in each one or something like that, okay? And then I normally keep them for indoor for about 3-4 weeks or so. And when they get to sort of 20 centimeters or tall or so, I'll leave it out in the final week, on the 4th week, leave them outside, but please protect them from frost. Rice is not good with frost. And then last week of October or first week of November, you plant them outside. Clay soil is good, but not sandy soil. And I would, to start off, is like use compost. And it kind of like looks like this. And so again, don't plant them too much in one small slot, and try out with 3 plants in each slot. And if you've got a bigger plots, then you can do like 20 by 20 or 30 by 30 centimeter intervals, and keep it up, keep like water 3 centimeters above the rice ground level. Now this is how the rice plants grow bigger and bigger. And around Christmas time, I normally drain water for 2 weeks or so, and blue is oxygen, so it allows oxygens to go into the soil, and then it reduces methane. So red is methane, okay? And if you keep it in the water, the methane increases a lot during that time. And what it does is that if the oxygen, in search of oxygen and water, rice plants' roots will grow deeper, and then plants will become stronger if you do mid-season drainage. If you don't do that, lots of methane means roots will be smaller, so plants a bit weaker. Okay. And then this is water management. You start off with like kind of deeper water and then shallow water. And then this is the mid-season drainage I talked about. And then after that, you kind of do intermittent watering. And then during the pollination, you need to have a deeper water again. This is really important because water acts as thermal mass. And then followed by intermittent water, and then you drop the water before the harvest. But if you don't have time or can be bothered, you can just keep water at the level, same level all throughout. I did manage to grow the rest like this. And if you've got, water sitting in the bucket, then unfortunately you will likely to see those mozzie larvae. So what I used to do was to drain the, water in the bucket onto a veggie garden once a week, and that gets rid of the mozzie larvae issues. And I used seaweed fertilizers once a week or so. And around mid to late January, you will start seeing rice flower, and it's all done by wind pollination. So if you have multiple pots, please have it right next to each other. And this is when you want to have like depth of water about 10 centimeters above the soil, because water acts as thermal mass. It keeps rice warm overnight, which is especially important for South Island temperatures. And so, yeah, that's why this is advantageous to have bucket water in the bucket rather than growing in a dry bed, which I'll explain a bit later. And then in February, rice started to look like it's developing, but it's kind of lit milk at the moment inside if you squash it, and sparrow will come and try to eat it. So please put it in front of your front door or put a bird net over it to prevent them from being eaten. And watch out for mice and rats as well, okay? And as the rice starts maturing, it starts to bow its head. And around sort of maybe mid to late March, you can drain water completely, and when the leaves start falling off. And yeah, you want to dry the rice out at that time. And harvest, just cut them from the ground. And you bundle it up with strings, and then dry in the sun for about a week or so. And of course, you need to cover it with nets to stop the birds. And then, so firstly, I tried with bucket just to learn the seasonality of it. And then a few years later, I tried in paddy. And then third year, it becomes the cultivar that is suitable to the local climate. So Nelson cultivar was kind of born. And this is Lynette Lysart in Waiuku, North Waikato. And she's been growing Yoshi's rice in a dry bed like this since 2016. And if you're gonna do that, you need to water a lot, lots of water, especially in the first 3 weeks or so, pretty much every day to help with the establishment of the rice seedlings. And then I would probably recommend weed mat like this or pea straw or something like that in between just to suppress the weeds. You can grow rice like this, but this is been adapted to paddy rice, so it does like lots of water, and you are likely to see less grain growing on in this method. So this is photos from Lynette's garden. So once you harvest the seed, keep it in a Ziploc bag and label it, and then keep it for the fridge. With the help from the Asian New Zealand Foundation, I have visited organic rice farmers farm in northern Japan in April, and learned about growing rice. And I brought back straw book and started making rice straw crafts and doing media publications. And I bought this dehusker with our own fund, but also applied for Climate Adaptation Community Fund from Nelson City Council, and got these pedal thresher and fan and polisher as well, and to share with community. So this is rice processing workshop we did in Nelson, and people can try how it works process. So vision for 100 years later is that I hope that everyone can eat locally grown organic rice, but let's start small, okay? And I have a very small rice plot like this, and this article came out last year, and then Yoshimasa Sakurai passed away on that very same day, aged 86. So thank you very much for Yoshi for continuing to grow rice and promote for the past 30 years and sharing seeds with us. And I'd like to thank the rice growers of Aotearoa, especially Lynette Lysart, for allowing us to use photo. Right. And thank you for all the partner organizations and supporters. And this information site has lots of rice growing information. It's in Japanese, but if you do Google Translate, it will do a very great job. So yeah, have a look. And good luck, everyone. And thank you for listening.